you're gonna love this.
She said, no, you wear it in your ear. I said, is that what those... I said, well, and you can talk through it. I said, what do you gotta do? You gotta do that? She says, it'll pick it up. This is amazing. So that first night I went to a meeting in Atlanta, and I looked important. I thought, geez, I look like, hey, I look like I'm somebody now. I got a Bluetooth. On the way home from that meeting in Atlanta that night, I was driving up Interstate 400, about 10 o'clock at night, and I was driving, on my way home. I looked at my rearview mirror.
Oh, no.
And I saw this blue light flashing. And I thought to myself, oh, crap. So I pulled off the side of the road.
He pulled himself over.
And I kept looking in this rearview mirror going, wow, when are you gonna get here? The light was flashing. Finally, after 5 minutes, I opened the door and walked back behind me. And there was no car. And I said, my God, I pulled myself over.
Crazy. Yeah, I love it.
You gotta love it.
I told her the stone sapper. He wasn't surprised. And anyway. Made a decision to build a business. No magic. Still don't have it today. But I'll tell you what this phone will do. I can call you. And I can take your call. Okay? Now I can't text. I'll take your texts. But thank God I know how to push another button that'll return the call from the text. Because I don't text. And they said, well, how do you function? I said, well, I'm the #1 income earner in the world of Legalshield. I guess I'm okay. This is a lot better than that quarter I was using.
That's right.
And the payphones on the side of the road. Remember those days?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The point is that we don't have to be that good at what we do. We just have to be busy at what we do. And your attitude makes all the difference in the world. And some of you here today, for the first time in your entire life, are coming to get an attitude rebirth, an attitude readjustment, whatever you want to call it. And you're learning and seeing all these wonderful people come up on the stage and tell the stories and so on and so forth. And why not you? Why not you? And if not this, what? That's the question I have to ask you. I think I did the due diligence 20-some years ago that made a difference in my life until this very day. I'm more motivated about Legalshield than I was the day that I got started. Now that isn't right. That's not right in the world of business. Most people go, well, when are you going to retire? Well, how do you retire? What am I going to do, walk the beach? Catch up with somebody? Where are you going? Well, I'm just walking the beach. So that's a great bathing suit you got on. A little complimentary. Next thing you're going to do what? You're going to tell them what you do for a living. How do you retire?
Yeah.
How do you retire? There was a time Beverly said, I bet you can't sit on the beach and tell somebody, and not for 24 hours, not tell somebody what you do. So I said, I'll take that bet. I sat down on the beach, and some guy came up and sat not too far from me. We started talking. He said, well, what do you do for a living? I said, well, I'm not allowed to tell you. He says, well, why aren't you allowed to tell me? I said, I made a promise to my wife that for 24 hours, I wasn't going to tell anybody what I did for a living. But I will tell you this is as exciting as any of yours. That next day he was out there bright and early. He said, the time's up! I gotta tell you. Some of you here today do need an attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
Some Somebody said, well, I don't have Dave Savulla's personality. Write this down. Get a new one. Maybe yours sucks. How do you get a new personality? Everybody do this. It's that quick. It's that quick. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to study every book in the world about personalities. You know, I'm a big believer in personal development. I really am. But the log cabin, hundreds of years ago, didn't get built out of a book. There was no book. Somebody was cold.
Figured it out.
So it'd be nice to have a place where you could stay, wouldn't it? What do you say we knock this tree down? And they knocked that tree down, and they built a log cabin, and they put a fire in it, and they warmed up, and from that point on, log cabins started to get built. And then they could write the book about how to build a log cabin. But it didn't take a book. It took activity. It took personal activity, the right attitude, and my ass is cold, and I want to get warm. Right?
Yep.
So all I want you to do today is that make a difference, is make a change, and make it immediately. You were not born shy and backwards. Like I always tell somebody, if God wanted you to go backwards, He would have reversed your feet. Now, if any of you are looking down right now at your heels, you've got an issue. Everything back here is just a waste department. Well, that's the truth, isn't it? We were designed to go which way?
Forward.
Forward. So economically, mentally, all the things that have been going on in your life, some of you have been going backwards too long.
Yep.
And you've been running in place. And you've been looking and dreaming your whole life about something that would come down the road that you just might get run over. And hopefully today that's been what Legal Shield has done for you. Because I'll tell you right now, you can't hide. Now that you've been introduced to Legal Shield, you've been vaccinated in Legal Shield, you will never be able to hide. We will come and get you. If you go missing in action, we're going to be looking for you. Why? We believe in you. See, I believe in mankind. I believe in people. And I believe if you're kind to people, they'll be kind to you. Okay? And you don't do enough of it. Compliment somebody. Right now, everybody just take a second and compliment the person beside you. Say something nice. Even if you don't mean it.
And the other director beside me, and I can't wait to make sure you guys.
Yes,
I'm ready to roll.
I like your hair.
You're awesome. Love your time.
You feel about that? Sure you do. Well,
Love your shirt.
I've never done that before. But you did it today. And if you did it today, you can do it tomorrow.
That's right.
And if you compliment somebody, you can open up windows and doors.
That's
You're
right.
going to build friendships. You're going to create opportunities. You're going to create the business model for you to grow in. There's no magic wand to this business. You just got to keep at it. I learned a long time ago, you've got to get on the practice field.
Here we go.
You got to get on this field and start to play. You got to practice. I've been coaching kids all my life. I love the game of football. I love any athletics, really, but I love the game of football. It's challenging. I've seen kids, 10, 11 years old that have played for me. Today are playing Division I college football, and some of them are getting drafted into the NFL today. And I remember when they couldn't get into a three-point stance. Had no earthly idea what that was. But the next day they came out and they got a little better. And the next day they got a little better. And before you knew it, they eventually became all counties, all states, all Americans. You know why? Because they didn't give up. Even though it was uncomfortable at the time, they realized that the practice field was where it happened. Each and every day, I enter into the practice field of Legal Shield. Every time I walk down the lobby or any place that I go, I'm on the practice field of this opportunity. And the wonderful thing about it is everybody is getting in the way. And if they don't get in the way, I get in their way. Because I just believe that we're here today, we're people. Somebody recruited you. What do you got to know? What do you got to know about recruiting someone? Just talk to them. Go see them. Put your arm around them. Say, hey, look, let me take 15 minutes of your life and show you what I took a look at years ago. It may or may not be of interest to you. It changed my life. It may change yours. It may not, but give me the opportunity to do that. That's all I'm asking for. So here's our challenge. And I only had 15 minutes, but our MC took too long. And,
oh boy.
We got to get after it. We got to get to work. We got to go back to those towns and communities and so forth and set up the breakfast meetings, the luncheon meetings, the weekly meeting system. That's how I built this entire business. It wasn't anything magical. It was just work and exposures. And if we're going to do that, we're going to grow faster than we've ever grown before. And here's why I'm so appreciative of being here today. I know these guys from Mid-Ocean. Sat with them, talked with them. They're high level. But they're not high level as far as human beings. They're people who care. They're people who invested in this company, and they never even met me. Now,